Mr. Banu, confirm you can.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it's been done.
Oh, so you're doing it. Oh, fantastic. Toastmasters and guests, Toastmaster Banu will be delivering a project from, okay, the project title is Understanding Your Communication Style. Toastmaster Banu, the purpose of this project is for you to learn about different communication styles and identify your primary style. The purpose of this project is for you to also share the impact of your style on others. What will I look out for? You will deliver a well-organized speech about some aspects of various communication styles. You may choose to speak about your own style or the impact of communication styles on you. Your choice of speech may be humorous, informational, or any style you choose. Remember, Toastmaster Banu, your speech should not be a report on the content of the Understanding Your Communication Style project. Finally, Toastmaster Banu, we had a conversation before this meeting when I tried to connect with you. I will be looking out for the things you asked me to look out for. And at the end of your speech, I will come back to give you a report on how you fared. Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam TMOD.
Thank you so much, TM Otobori, for delivering his speech objective with so much valor. Who is TM Banu Dan Badi? He's a passionate Toastmaster with title of Distinguished Toastmaster. If you're in the Toastmasters program, you understand what it means to be a Distinguished Toastmaster. He's currently serving as an Assistant PQD of District 41, serving India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and Nepal. He's an acclaimed trainer, mentor, and human excellence coach. Let's make welcome DTM Banu Dandi as he delivers his speech, Dancing with the Tunes. Dancing with the Tunes, DTM Banu.
To be and not to be is the question. To be and not to be is the question. The moment when I say it, I'm sure all of you, like me, is reminded of Shakespeare's line when Hamlet was struggling to communicate the struggle that he was going through within and outer world. So, my dear Toastmasters and guests present here, we all go through that conflict when we are trying to communicate. And that's what I'm talking about. All around, up to this point, what I've realized in life that there is a tune that goes around in us. There are plates of inner and outer striking that sounds of drum that we all dance with. And our life is nothing but manifestations of our communications, trying to reconcile this inner and outer. That's what I'm trying to explain through this project, the manual project, pathways project that I'm doing. So let me try explaining you what I explore in search of that style of communication that I belong to. When I looked at my communication portfolio, I found it was stacked in 4 different layers. The first layer I found was the body part of it, the grossness of the life. My body is constantly communicating. My presence and absence does communicate some meaning. My body gestures communicate, my facial expression communicates, so my grossness of life communicate. Some communication that I have control over, but some I do not have, I do it. I have no control over my body. The second component, I call it mind. And mind has got very subtle part of intuition, and the other is the accumulations of knowledge that you have accumulated, and those go through a conflict. You are intruded by informations, and at times when you're trying to decide, these conflict. So the mind also has, you have no control over mind at times. Third component, I call it speech. By speech, I mean the way we all express. Some of us are kinesthetic, some of us are digital, some of us are visual, some of us are auditory. The various communication patterns that we all belong to. So we have got our own speech or expression styles, and that also at times conflicts. When I am trying to communicate to the visual people with the auditory style, that will create confusion, and I've gone through that conflict as well. The subtlest part, the fourth one, I call it the aura. My aura, which I have no control over. I'm blessed with certain kind of aura, the special creation of God that I am. I have no control over those. And even my aura is constantly communicating something which I do not have any control over. But my dear friends, these are not something that I found when I looked at the manual. When I looked at Toastmasters communications manual that I was referring to, I met with very distinct pattern of communication. Toastmaster manual suggests one was direct, which is full of facts and figures. The other is initiating, very forthcoming communicator who can initiate conversations. The other one is analytical, who takes the pros and cons and weighs all merits and demerits and presents the fact. And the last one is supportive, very effective and supportive communications. So when I was trying to figure out my communication style, among these four types that the manual suggested, my dear friends, I was reminded of the other initial four types that I talked about: body, mind, speech, and aura. Those types kept coming in my mind. And when I was trying to tick the boxes, trying to figure out where I belong to in my communication style, I found myself like a puppeteer having strings around me and making me play in a different, and my movements, I did not have any control over. I was dancing with a certain tune. So, my dear Toastmasters, I discovered that there is a string, there is a music, there is a drumming sound that is going around you, that is constantly synchronized with your steps. You are dancing with that tune, and it is very important that we all identify the tunes that we are all dancing. I may be dancing in my own tune, my Tabori may be dancing in her tune, Tina probably dancing in her tune, and King probably is dancing in his own tune. And we must understand what the tune we are all dancing in. So, to conclude, my dear friends, it is very, very important that we understand which is the pattern of communications one I belong to and my fellow beings belong to. Unless we do find and understand that pattern, there will always be conflict like the Hamlet, and the question of to be and not to be is the questions will be haunting us always. So learn to dancing with the tune. Thank you. Over to you.
You did. I loved your opening. It started with a quote that I find resonates with me personally. Hamlet's monologue, his dilemma in summarized in a simple sentence: to be or not to be. What I love most, Toastmaster Banu, about your speaking style is the cadence of your speech. Your speech sounds naturally musical. And so, whether I am interested in listening to you or not, I am drawn to listen to you. It's an amazing gift, and I love the fact that you've been able to harness it. I love the fact that you enumerated the points in your speech, the the four styles, the four layers of communication, in your opinion, versus the four styles of communication proposed by Toastmasters. I loved the choice of words you used when explaining your numbers. Enumeration is a powerful tool that acts as a signpost for your listeners, and you used it brilliantly when you listed the body, the mind, the speech itself, and of course, the aura. I love the fact that you understood these four concepts and connected with those four concepts even more than the four styles that Toastmasters suggested, with basically the initiative, support, saves, direct, and analytical. However, you were still able to explain all eight styles. That was brilliant. The third thing you did, Toastmaster Banu, that I found was the stroke of a master genius was your ability to call names in the audience. And the minute you did that, you connected with certain members of the audience and it showed. That was sheer genius and I loved it. One recommendation, Toastmaster Banu, your beginning, that opening was a powerful opening. And I think you could have used two methods to connect even more powerfully than you did. So what I think would have worked a bit better for me would have been either you choose raw power to deliver, to be or not to be, or extremely low tones, like someone who is moodily reflecting, to be or not to be. I think if you had done that, you would have connected even more with the audience. That connection would have drawn your audience to you from the get go. But that did not by any means take away from the power of your speech because I loved how you used a signpost to conclude. When you said to conclude, so your audience knew you were wrapping up the speech. And when you had your audience's attention, you were able to loop the speech back to the beginning when you said, identify the tunes. If not, so there was a strong call to action, and you're able to summarize it by saying, you will keep questioning yourself to be or not to be. So Toastmaster Banu, continue to be the brilliant speaker you are, and I have no doubt whatsoever that you will continue to dance with your tunes. Thank you very much. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.